Manifestation in this experience is, as I spoke, the nexus of intuition, of will, and of that which is embodying a state of consciousness. Each of you here is here this day because you are desiring to move from one state of consciousness into another state of consciousness. Your lives represent that movement, and they model out that movement over and over and over again. That you were a child and dwelled within that which is your experience as a child was a state of consciousness. And all of the many other stages of your existence, places that you have lived, relationships you have engaged, careers that you have explored, all of those things are states of consciousness. The state of consciousness in which you dwell in this your now is one that does indeed provide you with the springboard to move into the next state of consciousness. The key to moving from this state of consciousness into a state of consciousness in which you are fulfilled is to experience the fullness that you have within you this moment. That is the key. It seems simple, simplistic as a matter of fact. However, generating that state of consciousness, generating the emotion of fullness, is indeed where steadfastness comes in. You arise in each day, and whether you engage your collective consciousness in the form of television, radio, newspapers, or whether you engage it simply through your computer or with other people's, nevertheless you have enforced daily the collective consciousness, the context in which you live, which does interact intimately with your state of consciousness. The things that are the commonplace dispositors of this collective consciousness are fear, lack, worry, doubt, insecurity. The motivation then to gain material goods is very clear, because gaining material goods ostensibly can eradicate fear, worry, doubt, insecurity. However, as the onslaught is constant, repetitive, and as you breathe it in every day, and as you still have not been able to successfully and completely move out of these emotions, these states of consciousness that generate desire, I would suggest that you try a different tactic. I would suggest simply that when you arise and you are confronted with worry, fear, insecurity, that you recognize that as a motivation to move from one state of consciousness to another is not the motivation for you. In other words, turn away from this particular syndrome and dynamic in your life. Recognize it for what it is. It is designed simply to perpetuate itself. And it does that very well. And each of you has been successful in your own way at coping with it, succeeding within it, managing to move from state of consciousness to state of consciousness, but all the while finding yourself still dealing with fear, insecurity, doubt, and worry. If you will take the time each day to simply embody the state of consciousness that you want to dwell in. Embody it for a period of time. If you can only sustain it for a minute at a time, sustain it for 1 solid minute. If you can sustain it for 20 minutes, sustain it for 20 minutes. But give yourself to the task every day. Now, I understand that you are all sitting there saying, I will, but tell me how. It is as simple as this. You know, the ancients, they designed for peoples such simple things as chants, knowing that a chant would indeed override the chatter of the mind. They knew as well that words have frequencies. They are potent in and of themselves. If for you need any sort of proof of this, hold up, for example, the word fear next to the word fulfillment, and you understand that there are 2 different frequencies. You can feel it within your being. How many times in the course of a day do you either consciously think, I am afraid of X, you name it. I worry about X, you name it. It happens repetitively and to the point where it loses the verbal component and you simply have the emotion, which then is a state of consciousness. And the state of consciousness becomes familiar to your body. Your body recognizes itself through that state of consciousness, but all the while, it goes to create your reality around you. In the need to create a state of consciousness and dwell in it for periods of time in each day, what I suggest unto you is that you write down in short, simple sentences the state of consciousness that you want to dwell in. I am abundant. I am fulfilled. I have more than enough, so much so that I can give to others. Abundance flows to me and is manifest around me constantly. I dwell in an ocean of potency. I could go on and on and on and on. These are simple statements that you can make that can become for you like an unto a chant. And if you will take that chant and in the first day, 1 minute out of that day, you fill that entire minute or 5 or 10 or 20 or 2 hours with that notion, with that state of consciousness. What you are doing is you are overriding the collective consciousness state of being that states that you are right to be worried and fearful. And you are building into your system an understanding that you are full. That desire is instantly met. That you are at peace. That you have more than enough. That you are filled to the brim with vitality and good health. That vitality and good health spills over and out into your world, granting you the ability to help others be well and healthy and vital. This simple procedure is all that it takes. It is how you move yourself from state of consciousness to state of consciousness anyway. You don't move yourself from state of consciousness to state of consciousness simply by informing yourself over and over and over again of your doubts, your worries, and your fears. If that was all you did, you would stay right there. At some point, you infuse yourself with enough courage, knowledge, certainty, willingness to risk, to move from the state of consciousness that you are in into a new one, into a new relationship, into a new career, into a new home, into a new state, into a new country. You are capable of manifesting within your being a state of consciousness that you can build upon and grow to where through steadfastness it is sustained, and to where within your being all that ever organizes itself around you is opportunity, choice, freedom, fulfillment, riches, joy, the sheer delight of entertainment in your life.